Hi guys, today we are going to do the PowerPoint Chapter 3 guided project. So I'm going to go to the tile that says PowerPoint Chapter 3 and 4. I'm going to choose the guided project for Chapter 3, which is Project 3.1. I can see that there's a resource file, so I'm going to download that right away. And then I'm going to open it up from the bottom of my screen. And then I'm going to right click on it. It's a picture. And I'm going to choose copy. I am going to put it in the folder that I use to save all of the others of my stuff, which is SS. And I'm going to right click and choose paste. Now once you have that, now you can download the start file. Bottom of your screen to open it up. When it opens up, the yellow bar that says enable editing. And let's do a file save as right away. And let's save this into your whatever folder that you normally save this to. Mine is going to be my SS folder. And let's save it. Now, once you get there, we've just done steps 1 and 2. So we're going to move on to step 3. On step 3, first of all, I can see that I've got 9 slides in the presentation. I am going to make sure that I'm on slide 1, which I am. And I'm going to right click in the gray area of the slide. Once I right click, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and I'm going to choose Format Background. In this option here, currently I've got a solid fill. I'm going to fill in the third bubble that says Picture or Texture Fill. And it changes to a texture, but I actually want a picture to be put in. So I'm going to go to my File button. And I'm going to go to wherever I just saved that resource document to. So mine was my SS folder. And here I am going to find the document called Building 03. And then I'm going to hit Insert. I can see that this picture of the building in kind of a blue background is put in. Step E tells me that I want to recolor this. So on my format background, I now have 3 buttons on the top. I'm going to move over to the picture button, which is right here. Click on it. And then I'm going to open up this picture color by clicking on the triangle. And in the recolor, I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to choose this dark blue here, which is called Blue Accent Color 2 Dark. Now here I can see that my buildings turned a little bit darker. They're still blue, but just not as bright. Now once I've done that and made that color change, hit Apply to All. Now before I do that, I'm going to notice that all of my other slides still have the gray background. When I hit Apply to All, they now get this dark blue building background. Step 4, make sure you're on slide 1, which I am. And then in your format background, right under recolor, there is this reset button. I'm going to click on it and it takes that dark blue away and it puts the bright blue back on. I'm going to do the same thing to slide 2. So I'm going to click on slide 2 and hit reset and I can see the bright blue comes back. I just want the bright blue on these first 2 slides. The rest can have the dark blue. Step 5, it tells me to go to slide 6. On slide 6, on the right side in format background, go to your paint bucket and choose solid fill. Now once you choose solid fill, the gray comes back. I'm going to pull my paint bucket down and I'm going to choose black background 1, which is this first black color. It's going to darken up the background of my slide. Now once I'm done with this, I can close down my format background pane. Step 7, it's kind of a confusing step. Step A is going to tell us how to put animations on our slide, but steps B, C, D, E, and F tell us what slides we need to change. So I'm going to look down at step 7B, and it tells me on slide 1, I want to click on the text box for the agenda, which is this red text box. Now I'm going to click on the outside of it so I get a solid line. Well, to put in animations, I am going to go to my Animations tab, and I'm going to pull the More button down here. Now in the entrance area, it tells me in step B, I want to turn on the wipe animation. Now, once I've done that, to the right of the More button, it says Effect Options. So I want this to fly in from the bottom, which it already is, and by paragraph. So I'm going to click on by paragraph, and now I can see that it flies in one line at a time. Now over in timing, I want my start to say on click and my duration to be 0.5 seconds. So now I'm done with the animation on slide 1. I'm going to go to slide 3. It tells me to select the picture. Now in my animations tab, I'm going to pull my More button down. In my entrance, I am going to choose the shape entrance. Now I'm going to hit my preview button, and I can see this enters from the outside of my picture as a circle. Well, I am going to change the effect options here, and I want to change the direction to out. So it goes from the middle out, and then I want to change it from circle to diamond. So again, now I can see that it just went from out to in. I need to change my effect option again to out. Now in the timing, instead of it saying on click, I want to choose after previous, which means it's going to do it automatically, and I want to keep my duration at 2 seconds. Next, I'm going to go to slide 7. On slide 7, tells me to click this text box on the right, Space Design. I'm going to click the outside to get a solid line. In my Animations tab, I'm going to pull the More button down. In the Entrance section, I am going to choose Zoom. Now when I've got Zoom, I'm going to pull my effect options down, and I want it to go from Object Center, which it is, to as one object, which it is. I am going to, for the start, I'm going to leave it on click, and I want my time to be 0.5. So this is done. Step E says stay on slide 7 and click on this text box on the bottom. I'm going to click on the outside of it so I get a solid line. Pull down my More in my animations, and again I'm going to choose Zoom from the entrance. In the effect options, Object Center, which it is, and as one object, which it is. In the timing, the start, I want it to be on click and a half a second, which it is. So this one's done. Slide 8 tells me to click on the text box with names, which is this red text box here. I'm going to click on the outside. In animations, I'm going to pull this down, and from the entrance, I'm going to choose wipe. Now the effect options, from bottom and all at once. Now in the timing, instead of on click, I want it to be after previous, and I want the time to go up to 1 second. So I press the up arrow twice. Now I'm done with my animations. Step 8, it says go back to slide 1. And then it says to click the slideshow button on the status bar. Now your status bar is down here by your zoom slider. So I'm going to click on the slideshow, which is this little button here. And it tells me to click the next button on the control bar. Now the control bar are these buttons down here. They're kind of these circles. And the next button is the arrow pointing to the right. So I'm just going to kind of go through this first slide, continuing to press next, and then I'm going to go on to slide 2. Now once I get to slide 2, it tells me to click the presenter view. Now the presenter view is this fourth button over. It looks like it's a TV screen with some tiles in the back. Well, this gives me kind of little thumbnails on each of my slides. It says to jump to a specific slide, so I'm just going to go to slide 7. Then it tells me to right click anywhere on the slide. So I'm going to do that on 12 classrooms, and I'm going to right click, and it tells me to choose zoom in. Now when I kind of mouse over this, I can pick where I want to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in on my bullets. I'm going to just click on them. Sure enough, I'm zoomed in. And then if I right click, it will allow me to zoom out. Now I'm on slide 7. It tells me to press my N button on my keyboard. This gives me my next animation, and I just pressed it again, and then N again. It takes me to slide 8. If you use your P button, this is previous. So if I click on P, it will bring me back to my last animation. Step F says type the number 5 and press enter. This takes you to slide 5. Step G says click the B key on your keyboard, and this gives you a blank view. And then to get out of your slideshow view, you press your escape key on your keyboard. So I actually had to press it twice. Step 9 says I'm going to do speaker notes. So I'm going to click on slide 1 here. Now, speaker notes are going to be in your view tab. And in your view tab, the 4th button over is your notes page. Now I can see the slide is on top, and whatever I want to say is going to be on the bottom. I'm going to zoom in using my zoom slider here to about 120% so I can see it pretty well. And I am going to type in the following. On slide 1, the first line is, and I'm going to click to add text, is welcome the audience. And then I'm going to press enter. And then review today's agenda. Now it wants you to put in an M dash here. An M dash is put in the easiest way by using your number pad, which is those numbers on the right side of your keyboard. Make sure the light is on above the number pad. If it's not, press numlock. Hold your Alt key down and press 0, 1, 5, 1. Now once you do that, you should see your M dash. Now I'm going to just show you another way. I'm going to go to my Insert tab, and I'm going to choose Symbol. Now I'm in my normal text, and in my normal text, which is the text all the way up on the top, if I type in the character code 2014, it gives me this long dash, which is your M dash. I'm going to press enter or insert and then close, and now I've got my long dash. After the dash, I want to type in go through animation. Now as soon as I have this, I am going to use my scroll bar here to scroll down to slide 5. Now slide 5 looks like this. It's got your shape art here. On slide 5, 3 lines. Fostered business innovation and involvement. Developed the business develop institute and expanded internship opportunities. Now as soon as we have these notes done, I'm going to change my view back by going to the View tab and go to the Normal view. Step 10. We are going to go through the process of how to change our print options. We are not going to print anything. So I want you to go to your File tab and choose Print. Now under Settings, I want you guys, instead of printing all slides, to go to this blank line and type in 4-5, which means we are only going to be printing slides 4 and 5 of the slideshow. Instead of full page slides, I want you to choose Notes page, which is going to give you the notes on each page. And you can leave all of the other options as is. Again, we are not going to print. We just want to change those settings. So now I'm going to hit my back button to go back. Step 11. It tells me to go to Rehearse Timings. So I'm going to go to my slideshow view, and I'm going to start back up on slide 1 here, and I'm going to hit my Rehearse Timings. Now I can see that this timing thing is put up here. This is when I'm going through the actual presentation. I can kind of click and have the timings kind of tell me how long it's going to take me to go through each slide. So I'm going to keep clicking and I'm going to go to slide 2, and then I'm going to kind of click through slide 3, and once I get to slide 3 I'm going to press my escape key. It will ask me, your total time is this, do you want to save them? And I'm going to say yes. I want you to change your view, so go to your view tab, and I want you to go to slide sorter. Now we just put timings on our first 3 slides. I can see under slide 1 when I'm in slide sorter, the time is 18 seconds. The time for slide 2 is 2 seconds, and then slide 3 is 4 seconds. I want to change each of these timings to 5 seconds. So I'm going to go to the transitions tab. And way over here, the farthest box over, I'm going to highlight whatever time's in here and press 5, enter. I can see my timing changed here. Then I'm going to go to slide 2, highlight whatever in this box, and type 5, enter. Make sure you have 5 seconds on each one of these slides. And it's going to take you just a little bit, but you have to have the timings in to get the points for it. If you were to have used rehearsed timings, you could actually have clicked through it and the timing would have automatically gone on for what you kept that slide up for. So 5 and then enter, 5 and then enter, and then 5 and then enter. So each of your slides should have a timing of 5. Now step 12, it says click the slideshow tab. So here's the slideshow tab, and deselect use timing. So even though we put the timings in, we're just going to uncheck this box here. Step C says click the use presenter view. In the monitors group, so just make sure there's a check mark here, and then you want to hit play from the beginning, which is right here, and it's just going to kind of show you how it's going to advance through. So I'm going to click a couple of times and just kind of feel like, yep, I've done the right thing, my animations all work, and so on. When I'm to about slide 3, I'm going to press escape, Control S to save, and then I'm going to upload my project to SimNet. So again, on each project you get 2 times to try it. So upload it once you get here, and if you don't like your score, then go back through and fix it, and then I'll take the higher score.